Hey everyone, my name is Kieran and welcome to my channel. If you're new, hello, and I like to talk about videos regarding sustainability, low impact living, zero waste living, low impact traveling, and sort of just all around trying to reduce our impact on the planet that we have. So yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, subscribe and come and check out the other videos I'm going to make. If you are not new, so you've already been to this channel, thank you for coming back, thank you for watching this video. And this video today is talking about the plastic culture in Southeast Asia, but I'm not looking at it from a country or a sort of inside perspective. I'm looking at it as a traveler from outside, and how as travelers we can look to avoid the plastic culture and travel as low impact as possible, and how you can do this and spread this to other travelers so we take responsibility for what we're doing and not have a large environmental impact on the countries we travel to. So a quick background from what I've been up to. I've been traveling for the past 5 to 6 months around Southeast Asia. It's been awesome and I've really enjoyed it. I've met some amazing people, seen some amazing things, but it also comes with seeing the not so amazing side of things. So huge amounts of poverty, wealth disparities, environmental issues, and one of those environmental issues, which the video is about today, is plastic and plastic pollution. Now this is something that I've been in some stunning locations, some absolutely beautiful areas, and yet plastic pollution is still there. It's ever present. And it's really quite shocking to see it. It really just brings you back down to the issue itself. So yeah, it's been difficult to go anywhere without finding plastic pollution. But this isn't an issue that's just experienced in Southeast Asia. It's something we're experiencing very much in Europe. And we have the infrastructure, well, supposedly we have the infrastructure and also the wealth to deal with this issue, and we can't even deal with it properly. So, looking at Southeast Asia and some of the countries here, they're going to have, very much difficulties trying to tackle these issues. So like I said, I'll look at this from how, sort of travelers can make a difference. But sort of let's look at why Southeast Asia to start off with. I guess it's a huge tourist destination. So many people come here for just short holidays, long trips like I am, backpacking, or gap years where they spend a whole year pretty much traveling before university, after university, in the middle of a job, whatever they're doing. And for example, 4 million people travel to Bali every year, where I am at the moment, and if 4 million people use one straw, that's 4 million straws, and that's a huge number when you really think about it for something so small. So I think awareness is a key issue in Southeast Asia, because I found, unlike when I've traveled around places in Europe, plastic is offered more, it's given freely, it's not thought about as much yet. And you can go to a shop and if you go and get a plastic water bottle, it will come with a plastic straw, which comes in a little plastic sachet, and then it's put in a plastic bag, and you've got about 5 pieces of plastic for the one bottle you bought. And it really just doesn't make sense. But people are too easily, and I think travelers that are guilty of this, too easily drawn into this culture. You start forgetting that that plastic straw, where does it go? It's sort of, in these cultures, it's out of sight, out of mind, and there's no consequences thought of for the plastic used. So it's quite easy for travelers to get drawn in. And I've seen it myself from people I've met traveling, where just because they're handed a straw, they'll use it. They're handed a bag to carry something they could easily take in one hand, and they'll use it. So I think that's another issue to address. And the idea that people do what other people do, and that's why ultimately it has a big effect. So that's why I'm targeting Southeast Asia. And now I want to give my tips to all you travelers who are looking to travel, who are traveling, who have traveled, and sort of what I see as the main ideas for trying to avoid getting drawn into this and really making a difference, because we all come from I guess to be able to travel like this, there's some form of privilege coming from there, more so than, you know, a lot of the people experience in these countries. And it's our responsibility to come here and not leave, you know, it in a worse state than we found it, to make sure we make a difference, to use our actions to really, you know, have as low an impact as possible. So I think the first thing is to be aware. Be aware that plastic is an issue here. It's an issue globally, but it's an issue here because of, like I said, how freely it's handed out. Be aware of that. Be ready for it. And don't be drawn in. Don't just take the straw because it's there. Give it back to them. Give the plastic bag back. Say no. Say I don't need it. You know, start to like associate your actions with a consequence. Like, okay, so this plastic bag will end up in the ocean or end up on the side of the road. An animal might eat it. It might die. You know, it sounds extreme, but this is what's happening. And then you can really realize, like, do I need this? No, you don't really need it. And so the actions you take can then be turned, you can change your actions based on what you're sort of realizing. And that can have a huge impact to reduce, you know, the amount of pollution you produce, or plastic or waste or anything you produce. And this then allows you, and like I said, traveling, you're meeting so many people. It's an awesome experience. And if you're living sort of low impact, if you're, you know, pulling out your straw, if you're pulling out cutlery, flasks, you're refusing plastic, other people notice. You know, people see you say like, oh, no straw. The person next to you goes, oh, no straw either, because someone else is doing it. You start picking up litter on the side when you're walking somewhere. People get involved. They start picking up litter as well because someone else is doing it. Now, they might not do it themselves to start off with, but you could be that person who sort of triggers that attitude for them. And that's something I definitely realized, and, you know, it's really encouraging when you see. So try and set the example, talk about these issues, talk about, you know, why you're not using plastic straws, plastic bags, plastic bottles, why you refill. And maybe we can get more travelers thinking about these things and actually acting and changing them. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think to avoid the culture, you need to be aware, you need to not be drawn in, you need to change your actions to avoid these plastics and to avoid the culture and the throwaway culture. And if you do use plastics, make sure they're disposed of properly. If there's recycling schemes, which sometimes there won't be, make sure they go in the bin. And then once you've started to change, set the example, discuss, share with other travelers. Think about how many people you meet each day. Think about how many conversations you have each day. If just one of these conversations is talking about the impact of plastic and everything like that, you might change one person's mind, and then they might change one person's mind, and it spirals and gets bigger, and it's like cumulative. It's really cool how it can like change so quickly. So yeah, that's my advice, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope if you are traveling, you have an awesome time. It's really like one of the best things I've ever done. It's really incredible, and I feel very lucky to have done it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and throw me some comments telling me what you think of the video, what you're going to do to lower your impact traveling. I've got a lot more videos coming talking about low impact travel, because I think it's a serious area that we need to sort of address and think about. So if you're looking sort of to look at those videos, you're interested in sustainability and travel, low impact living, zero waste living, hit the subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you guys on my next video, and yeah, have a great week, and I'll see you all around. Cheers, guys. Just checking what I've got. 330 views on Instagram, and let's go check out what the YouTube video's got. Don't think it's changed too much, but we'll see. Okay, and that's got 136, so it's about 460. Probably got around 250 views on my story. So I'll go for 700 pieces today.
Oh, that sounds good. 700.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.